I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Amelia's duel hits the front. Immature is coming right away for Damien Oliver.
Bella Nipotina, and boy, doesn't she deserve this.
The Giga Kick's got a strong kick.
Golden Mile, soar out the mile. I'm thunderstruck over the top. Mr. Brightside has won the mile.
And Militarized blows them away in the Champagne Stakes. And she's a class act, pulling right away Prowess. And Zoo Gotcha won it by 2.5.
Zaki joined by Animo, who looks destiny in the face.
Well, don't mind me. I'm just gonna.
How is it?
It's good. It's needed.
How good's the Monopoly promo that Macca's does?
They lure everyone in, don't they? Let's have a look. What did I win from a Hashi? I got Mayfair. I feel like that's pretty good.
Fuck Hutch. I am so much better. Instant win. Cheeseburger or sausage McMuffin.
Bang.
Hey, Drifters.
Speaking of saucy, I have one right here.
Mate, how good's that? So do you know what I do? I take a couple little bites out of the Hashi
Yeah.
and chuck it on the burg.
Yeah. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. It's like, what is your Macca's order? By the looks of that, that's a bacon and egg.
This is a double bacon and egg McMuffin.
Why the double bacon? You just want to really make sure it's bacony?
Well, yeah. Clearly, I'm a guy who likes bacon.
Yeah.
Do I like bacon as much as the next bloke? Arguably, yes.
Mm-hmm.
There is someone who listens to this podcast, though. Arguably, the Drifter's number one fan, Jess Mitchell. She loves bacon.
Bacon. Loves bacon.
Loves bacon.
Yeah, right.
So, so a few months ago, Jess, another workmate of mine, Cuzzy, Megan Jones, shout out. Call her Cuzzy because
No relation.
no relation, but you know.
Hey, cousin Robbie Dolan.
Cousin Robbie Dolan, cousin Angela Jones.
Cousin Robbie is calling home up here.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Hey, to his family roots.
Exactly.
Not Ireland here.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. What was Cuzzy doing?
So we're looking in Jess's calendar. Because this was months ago. Like March or April. And we're trying to organise something as a group. And there was something in Jess's diary on a random Saturday in like August called Bacon Fest.
What was that?
In Kingaroy. They have an entire day dedicated to bacon.
And she's going.
Well, she didn't end up going, but the context is, it's so funny because she just is obsessed with bacon. So she like is notorious for not cooking, hates it, doesn't know how to, I think, for the most part. So when you go over to her place, sometimes in the fridge, the only thing that might be in there is a kilo of bacon, and she'll just cook herself up some bacon.
Wait, is she eating
Just bacon.
just knife and fork or just pick it up
I assume knife and fork. Rind on.
fresh off the fry pan?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
So shout out to Jess Mitchell. Like, I love bacon, but I think she's partly made of bacon.
Yeah. So we're doing it ourselves a service this morning, Drifters, because you might have heard the news. Our Lions didn't get the JD, so we're just having a couple of burgs. It's a bit of a pick me up because we're fresh off the plane. Landed about half an hour ago, so we were there. Didn't go our way, but I think that'll go down without seeing too much of the sentiment. One of the greatest grand finals of all time.
Yeah.
Better team won on the day, but bloody proud of the boys.
100%. Like,
Played their hearts out.
they did. Like, Collingwood, if you look at all the stats, they were slightly better in every stat. They slightly beat us. You know. It is what it is. Like, absolutely devastating.
Does it take away from the hurt I'm feeling? No.
No.
But this is like the character of a man. Is that I feel when you have a mouthful of bacon egg McMuffin and you front up to the media and you're on my podcast wouldn't say that I'm proud of my footy club. It just didn't quite go their way. And what I say, Collingwood supporters get a bad rap. They were sensational.
They were.
Like, before the game, they were asking us who we like from the Lions to kick the first goal, and they were putting on a little multi with the good people at Ned's down there. During the game, gave one or two a little nudge in the ribs, going like, mate, how good is this? And they're like, this is a sensational game of footy.
Oh, mate.
Both teams deserve to win, which they did.
Yeah.
But there's sadly only one winner.
2 stories.
And that was me.
One ending.
Me versus the city of Melbourne.
Oh, look, we often speak about, like, when we travel down to Melbourne for horse racing purposes, like, we cometh and then we taketh from south of the border. When we decide to grace Victoria and Melbourne with our presence, when we decide to go down,
they welcome us with open arms.
But they leave with lighter pockets, take them for a ride. Now, look, was that the case for yours truly this weekend? Not at all, Drifters.
But what you're forgetting, Drifters, is that we're a team.
And if it's not one of us, the other.
Hey, you're saying it's not you, but you have the last leg of a sensational little multi going as well.
I do.
Which I feel like you keep forgetting about.
I do keep forgetting about that.
Because some of that racing on Friday night at Moonee Valley, where we were in the Ned's Lounge, was fucking believable.
How's that, Drifters? Like, we cometh, we taketh.
And what I add, I might have a career as a mounting yard analyst.
You very well might. You were fantastic. Picking them out of the yard.
It was good stuff. Having little savers here and there. But, yeah. Grand final was good. Not our result, but let's get on to the racing because that's what we're here to talk about allegedly. Let's have a look at the Moir Stakes as a starting point.
The G1.
Because I think it was it the highlight or was Amelia's Jewel the highlight?
Nah, Millie was the highlight. Yeah. The Wonder Filly.
Okay. I think this goes pretty close. Nice call by Matty Hill.
Oh, he's terrific. He was on fire on Friday night.
I think he's quite taken by Imperatriz.
It's pretty fair to say.
Yeah. I saw in the wash-up of this, you might suggest, Drifters, that we're a little bit underprepared for this podcast, and you'd be right on the money.
This is as prepared as I'm ever going to be, Drifters.
Apparently Rothfire's gone for a spell. Just he didn't let down on that really firm track. And I think there was a lot of horses that jarred up as well. So, and, you know, when Imperatriz is breaking her own track record.
It's a firm track.
It's a very firm track. And Amelia's Jewel did the exact same thing. So
2 track records in a row, mate.
Yeah.
How lucky were we?
And I think you look at this, Asfura was setting a red hot pace with Zoostar up front. Mate, look, this 50 to 100 metre turn of foot is just so electric.
Yeah.
Like that last 50 is scintillating. But
gassed him.
What I wanted to rewatch here is I thought Uncommon James was really great.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He's a horse screaming out for further. Yeah. I think he could develop into a good 1400 metre horse, Uncommon James. He just didn't have the turn of foot to keep up with him over 1,000 metres.
The zip.
Didn't have the zip. I thought Asfura was absolutely sensational. If that race, you know, if you put her in the Moir Stakes in the last 10 years or the last 10 editions, she probably wins it 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean?
Like,
so
very similar run to what Coolangatta had.
Yeah,
last
exactly.
year,
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
She was sensational, but Imperatriz is a star. Mate, I'm pretty sure that's 15 wins from 21 starts, and I think 6 Group 1s. That's
Crazy.
an elite record.
Crazy. And her record, you know, is banging down the door to be just as good. Over a bit further is Amelia's Jewel.
Oh, wasn't that sensational? Pride of Jenny setting a hot speed up front, and Frosty just decides to take luck out of the equation and rides her forward, man. That showing that tactical ability to ride
Nous.
forward, the nous. Wow.
I hope you're fans of ASMR drifters.
I really hope you like it, drifters. And yeah, just to take her forward, I didn't realise how fast they were going
Me
watching
neither.
it live.
No. And if you listen to the preview podcast, drifters, if you're not, what the hell are you doing? Because let's be frank, we're having a sensational spring.
Yeah.
I said Pride of Jenny was probably my bet in the race. Not to win, definitely not to win, but to place. And I saw that opportunity. I was like, this is one of the easiest quinella bets you'd ever hope to see. And it just landed out that way.
It's free.
Nostradamus.
It's effectively free. Nostradamus, do you know what? You might have been Nostradamus in the mounting yard, but no one could have expected Amelia's Jewel to play up so much in the mounting yard.
So-
So she was being a little bitch.
And what you wouldn't have been able to, we obviously weren't watching the broadcast, but what you wouldn't have seen is that she actually didn't want to go into the mounting yard. So, and she was like backing away, and she just wasn't walking around that well. I thought, who else was in this race? I thought Pride of Jenny was probably one of the best in the yard, actually.
Yeah.
Of those. But look at that, mate. And people are still crapping on about she hasn't beaten anyone. It's like, okay, she's, if we're taking that angle, she's theoretically beaten every single horse this race of the Valley over the mile.
Yeah, theoretically.
Like, if we're taking that angle, you know?
Yeah. And also, how many Group 1 winners has she beaten already?
Oh, you know,
Cascadian?
I think more than, oh yeah, Cascadian. This was a great chat that we were having in this car ride at one stage. So,
We talk a lot about horse racing.
we do. We were trying to name a horse that has the same profile as Cascadian, who's won a Group 1 over 1,400 metres and all aged. He's won a Doncaster, and he won an Australian Cup over 2,000 metres. That is a very top-tier, elite distance profile of winning Group 1s. We were thinking about it. It's like very
Animo, obviously.
Animo, very elegant, Winks. Hartnell, maybe?
Hartnell might have done it, yeah.
Like that's the
Humidor, maybe?
Humidor, mate. Yeah. Like we're talking Cox Plate horses.
Yeah.
Like we're talking the top tier.
Yeah.
Oh, but she hasn't beaten anyone. What else do you want her to do?
What do you want her to do? It's just, I just don't understand people who take a set against horses like that. You know what I mean?
Naysayers.
Naysayers, exactly. Like,
Bit of positivity, please.
oh, 100%. I'm just trying to coin a phrase that like I really want to go viral for Amelia's Jewel. A few people were referring to her as Millie in the mounting yard. And if I wasn't the first, I was very close too.
Hey, we can't claim everything, but I feel like you're within your rights to claim that one.
I think so. But would you call her the Wonder Filly Millie? Would you call her the Magic Filly Millie?
She's not filly anymore. That's the thing.
Yeah, but she's a filly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Is she magic? Is she fantastic?
She'll be like the wild mare from the West or something, you know?
That's really good. That's really good.
Like
That's really good.
so
Wild mare from the West.
like
Millie. The Western Wonder Filly.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen when this horse draws a gate? Draws barrier 6 in a Cox Plate,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that's actually a fantastic question because you can choose your own barrier in the Cox Plate.
Yeah.
Where do you choose for her? Midfield?
Not, yeah.
You don't want it to be in 1 or 2.
I think you'd ask every single trainer to go 4. That's
Yeah.
like your number 1, like 3 to 7 is your
Yeah.
Goldilocks zone. They typically hate barrier 1 at the Valley. Just if you miss it, then
Yeah.
you can get dug away. But, pardon me, in Russian Camelot's year where he was contesting a Cox Plate, and he was like a $2 favourite, wasn't he?
I don't know if he was that short, but he was short.
Yeah, he was very short.
Oh my God.
He had to become the first horse, I think, to jump from barrier 12 or 13. and win. So it's like the wide draws in a Cox Plate really do cost you sometimes.
Where'd he run? Third?
Yeah.
Who won? So Dragonet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who ran second? I can't remember.
Oh, Armory.
Oh, your horse. That's right.
Yep. I remember it vividly.
Sorry, mate.
No, it's all right. So Amelia's Jewel.
It was fantastic to see her, mate.
Yeah, it's just we were talking about this as well. We're hoping for a Cox Plate that the head surely goes to a Golden Eagle.
We discussed this. I think we dissected it beautifully and logically.
We should have turned the mics on.
We should have recorded. We should have literally got our phones open, just recorded a memo because it was gold dust drifters. It was gold dust. Like you're thinking about it. Okay, cool. A Cox Plate on a CV versus a Golden Eagle on a CV. Yes, you'd prefer to read Cox Plate, right? But she's got to beat some pretty good horses to win a Cox Plate this year. Whereas if she goes to the Golden Eagle, 1,500 metres, like
Who's beating her?
who's beating her?
Legato,
Yeah,
Redina,
Kovalika,
but I think he's looking for 2,000.
I think he should go to the Cox Plate. Kovalika.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that later. But so logically, you're like, Golden Eagle's there for the taking, mate. You're on top three, even you win a fortune. Like I think Gypsy Goddess collected like a $1.5 million check for running third. Oh, I miss you, Gypsy.
Hell of a training performance that.
Yeah.
Like, and you look at and this is no disrespect to the connections or the horse, right? But he's a friend of this podcast as well. But the Price Kent Junior trained amenable is like $10 or $11.
Yeah.
And it's like, with all disrespect to that horse and those connections, you have a very smart one, probably Group 3, Group 2 level. He's no Amelia's Jewel.
No.
I'd be shocked if he could beat Amelia's Jewel in a race.
Yeah. Would you take AJ over 1,500 over Legato over 1,500?
Well, we have to see Legato actually make it to the racetrack. Like, she's raced once, but then they scratched her again from the weekend. So, suggests to me that she's probably more effective on top of the ground, which you're going to get
this
in
year.
Australia. Yeah. I think she's just a Flemington horse, you know? Like, don't really know. She just loved, like, the way she won that Australian Guineas was just absolutely breathtaking. And don't know if she doesn't travel the Sydney way, but for 10, 11, 12, 20, 50, 100,000 million that it's worth, you take there to find out, right?
Yeah.
The other race that we will have a look at is the Scarborough Stakes. Now, Drifters, we did not pick the eyes out of this one. So I had Bossy Nick. She drifted to about $20. She ran third. So she was a really nice return. Skirt the Law, you seeing other people?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, this winner, this was one that I had to save a bet on Drifters because of how she looked in the yard. She was the only one that had a sensational parade. I forget how to pronounce the horse's name. So let's have a listen to Matty Hill here.
Ryan, so Julanova led by 2 lengths. She's all shenanigans in a precarious place. Skirt the Law keeps her in. They were followed by Inhibition, stoked up. Coeur has run up behind those horses, needs some room. Followed by Bossy Nick. Skirt the Law at the 200 metres took the front from Inhibitions. Coeur trying to get a run. Inhibition strikes the front. 100 metres to go. Bossy Nick and Coeur having a brush. Still Inhibitions. Coeur is coming at her hard and got her. Coeur got up to.
That's a hell of a win.
Coeur Volant, it is. Wanted to go outside, but a bit of a direction from Blake Shin. I believe he got a treble.
Yeah, but he also got 14
day suspension. 14 meet suspension.
14 meeting suspension.
Yeah, so, the way she sort of darted through, wow. And she's pretty lightly raced.
That was her third start.
Yeah.
Never been outside the Quinella. And, she paraded sensationally. And I said to you immediately afterwards, I'm like, this could be a Coolmore horse. Which, that's a big step up versus the likes of probably like Cylinder and, those other sprinting 3-year-olds. But I think she's the X factor. She's got something under the hood for sure.
What's under the hood? Yeah. No, that was brilliant. Trained by Graham Begg, maybe?
No.
Mike Moroney?
Yes.
There you go.
So, think of your Tafanes.
Yep.
He
He
can
knows how to get a good one to the track.
Yeah, same silks.
Yep.
Lovely. Nice, sharp turn of foot like Tafane used to have in her early sprinting days. All right, let's head to Sydney. There's a bit to unfold here. Let's start with the flight stakes, the feature. Now, we were watching grand finals at the time, Drifters, so I have taken some notes here about the tempo this morning. There was 4 mile races on the day, and the flight stakes was the quickest of the mile races, and they would have the flight stakes would have beaten the Epsom by about 2 lengths on overall times and figures. The Epsom field ran home 7.5 lengths quicker from the last 600, so they've gone way quicker out in front for the flight stakes compared. So what that says to me is Tropical Squall, alligator blood-like tendencies.
Yeah.
Just wants a genuine tempo on speed.
100%.
So, yeah, very nice win. Tis Invincible probably just
Got hung out for way too long.
hung out, and which was the main query for mine for her during this run, that she's 3 wide, no cover there. Still looks like she's doing quite decently, but
Just get swamped.
yeah, Kaimochi just couldn't let down, really. No real excuses for those behind, I don't think.
No, Tropical Squall, they just, needed that good tempo, and she just sort of kept rolling along. Waterhouse Bot, you just know where they're going to be in the run. I'm the dickhead who obviously backed her last start and jumped off like an idiot. And jumped on Tis Invincible, but she was breathtaking last start, so it is what it is. Well found by Matthew Dolab.
Yes.
Tropical Squall.
And Drifter of the Week,
Yep, Drifter of the Week too.
Josh Bell.
Yep, shout out. So what do you do with her now then?
Oh, I think you go to
Spell?
a spring champion.
Yeah,
Why not?
why not?
She has to beat Ducats. Yeah.
And
Nice
Snowman.
win.
And Snowman.
Yeah. So, yeah, Tis Invincible, you forgive that?
I think so.
Molly Nickers was good late.
Yeah, Tis Invincible. You forgive that just based on her previous runs.
Yeah.
And maybe she isn't a miler. She's by I'm Invincible, obviously. So, his progeny tend to be sprinters, like in Secret. There you go.
You're the breeding guy.
Big breeder.
So I like it. So the Epsom, here we go. So yeah, as I said, so they went 7.5 lengths quicker for the last 600 meters in the Epsom versus the Tropical Squall race, which means
Flight
that they're
stakes,
just going quite slow up until then.
Which is funny.
Which on paper it looked that way, and when you actually look at it, Golden Mile he got the lead pretty early here.
Yeah.
So I think there wasn't that much pressure up on the inside, which Redina got the spot where I was hoping you would.
Yeah.
And Kathy O'Hara just gave him an absolute peach.
Gave him a peach. Held on. 50 kilos, lightly weighted, ridden perfectly. Yeah, it's funny because we were sort of talking about it during the week. Yeah, it doesn't look to be a lot of pace on paper, but you're like, nah, it's an Epsom. It's a big mile handicap. There'll be pace, but there wasn't. Which is funny.
And that's Nugget going out wide, basically again stoked up from about the 8 to 600 because there wasn't that pace in there. And I love when I'm on those horses. I love seeing that.
Yeah,
'cause
100%.
you're giving me a winning chance.
Exactly. And if he doesn't run on it, it is what it is.
Now look at Kovaliki here.
He's far back, the magic man, looking for a run. He gets the breaks.
He does, but
It's just too late.
yeah, Redina just had that 3 to 4 lengths on him. I thought Golden Mile was gonna steal this,
Yeah.
but Redina just puts his head out there, lengthens. Look at you go. Oh, baby.
Bang.
It's almost one of those ones where it wasn't quite like the stride before, the stride after. Like Kovalika's head was in front and it's just like on the post Redina, but like the stride after he was.
Yeah.
And, this was the difference between me touching up the bookies and you.
Yeah.
So, but at least one of us got the chockies.
It is what it is. I thought Rodina was a winning chance, so
He was in your betting strategy.
He was, yeah, he was. Kovalika, yeah, like we said, Cox played, but I'm thinking they'll probably take him to a Golden Eagle.
Yeah. You know what we need to start doing? We need to start doing like a crystal ball. Maybe this is what we do with our collab.
Yes.
Spring features or something, because I've pulled a couple out of my back skyrocket, which are going for enormous prices now. So you probably don't care about this, Drifters, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I have Bradina to win the Epsom at about $21, into Without a Fight at $12. So that's a double. It was paying like, 240 to 1. Now I have Millie's Jewel into Without a Fight for the Caulfield Cup at 140 to 1. That's about 20 to 1 now. So maybe we should start doing something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think the Drifters would like that if we just dropped a few nuggets like that so they can get on with the good people in Neds.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't suggest putting a bet on Without a Fight now.
No.
The price is gone.
No.
Yeah. Right. Something to consider.
Yeah.
Actually, Redina is still a price in the Golden Eagle.
Yeah.
And
He's the Epsom's such a good form race for the Golden Eagle. It and the two rack. Like it'll be back to weight for age. And he's only had 50 kilos in that race. But he's a horse that's improving massively.
Well, Colding did the exact same thing.
Exact same thing.
So he's $15 in the Golden Eagle. If Millie's Jewel doesn't go there, he'll start very close to favourite.
Yeah.
Him and Legato, you know. So I think they're the ones you want to take out of it. Now, all the Just Fine fans are going like, he wouldn't stay. You know, he's been too brilliant. Well, I'm sorry, but this horse just keeps running red hot time.
Yeah. Had to work for it, mate. Spirit Ridge.
Yeah, the old boy.
Yeah, really made him work for it.
Yeah, and people probably go, now, he's only beating Spirit Ridge. Now, do I believe that this horse, Just Fine, do I think he can win a Melbourne Cup off that?
Nah. People say that. People. There's two things that I dislike. People potting horses who don't deserve to be potted. I do that sometimes. People getting too far ahead of themselves, mate.
Yeah.
Like
King Charles sold this horse for a reason. Now, that's a bit unfair because I'm the biggest fan of this horse. I've been on him every start.
Yeah,
since he's been in Australia.
You have been. Sometimes horses just get the Aussie sun on their back and they just find a couple lengths. Zaki.
Yep.
Like Zaki was a Group 3 winner in the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, so hell of a win, mate.
Hell of a win.
Hell of a win.
When you break the track record over 2,400 metres at a metropolitan track. So we saw 3 track records broken. Millie's Jewel, Imperatriz, and Just Fine.
Getting some dry decks finally.
Yes. Yeah.
How much better is it to punt on a dry deck?
Oh, mate.
So much better.
I think everyone agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're entering the straight here. And there's only 2 horses you wanted to be on.
I wonder what weight Spirit Ridge had on his back.
Let me look it up for you right now.
Because he was fantastic.
He was brilliant. And he ran pretty decently in the Newcastle Cup, I reckon.
Yeah.
Spirit Ridge had 52.5.
Right. Very lightly weighted.
Yeah.
Wowee. This won by like 6 lengths. Absolutely brained him.
Yeah.
So he hasn't won by 6 lengths. They've beat the rest of the field by 6 lengths, but
I know what you mean.
yeah. So he's broken the track record. Him and Spirit Ridge have beaten the rest of them by about 6 lengths. Like you can't tell me that that's not a very good horse.
Has to be.
Has to be good.
Yeah.
So you take him to a Caulfield Cup. Or do you take him back to 2,000 metres? I reckon he's probably better over 2,000, I'd say.
I'm fascinated to see how... And you said he wouldn't be out of place in a Cox Plate. I think that's not a bad shout.
Sometimes I've got some hot takes.
And we said he'll start that $15 to $20.
Yeah, but he deserves to be there, mate.
You know where he's going to be? If it's a good track, he lets down on those. He's going to give him a bunny to chase.
He could be a horse that's very suited by Moonee Valley.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tight turning track to keep him focused.
Yeah, exactly right. Follow the rails.
Yeah. He just he rails like a greyhound, you know what I mean?
And the thing is, if he runs a blinder there and he runs third at $15 to $20, you're like, yes, that's a horse that deserves to be in that race.
Yeah. Champions Stakes maybe, 2,000 metres, weight for age. I want to see him weight for age.
I want to see him at 2,000 metres weight for age.
Yeah. I think, if I was to, 2,400, I think if he's going up against this opposition again, no issue backing him again.
Yeah.
Because I think he's just fine is just better.
He's better than them.
If he goes against, the Melbourne crew, I think that's a different story.
That was going to be your next question then. So obviously you've got skin in the game without a fight in the Caulfield Cup. If Just Fine goes to the Caulfield Cup, well weighted, are you scared of him?
Oh, I might have a saver.
Yeah.
Because he probably would, I don't know, would he be... All right.
Based off that, he'd probably get, 53 kilos?
Maybe. Without a fight, he's 55.5. He's $6 in the market. I'd probably rate this horse, I don't know, $10 maybe?
You can't whack 5 kilos on him after winning that with 50 kilos on his back.
No. But the lead-up race was in a ballot exempt. So it's
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, you know?
Fascinating.
Yeah. So that's 2 ballot exempt wins on the day. Epsom, Redina, 50 kilos. Just Fine, 50 kilos. They're important.
That's why we love handicap races.
All right, let's go to the undercards here. And let's have a look at these 2-year-olds. Now, Lady Camelot, what was her name? Lady of Camelot, I'm sorry. All you Lady of Camelot fans, I think you were stressing pretty early.
How dare you name your horse that and it not be out of Russian Camelot?
What about, I'm assuming she's out of Camelot?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know who she's out of, but she's not out of Russian Camelot. His will be
Soon.
soon, yeah.
It's like we're seeing a lot of autumn suns.
Seeing so many autumn suns.
Yeah.
What if horses all of a sudden have autumn in their name?
In a lot of green, red, and white silks. So, I thought Lady at Camelot actually ran on really nicely here. About 200 home, you're thinking, geez, she's just better. And then she just gets in absolute quicksand. And it's good to see Tommy Berry back at the races and in the winning stall.
Yes, it's good to have him back because I think they've lacked a little bit of quality in a jockey room.
He was saying, I was listening to him during the week, he was basically like, this is actually the best thing that could have happened to me because he was like, I just lost the appetite.
Yeah. And
I think he would say this as well. He probably wasn't riding the best either. So it's probably coming at a really good time for him, which is good. And then the boys in the Breeders' Plate, so Espionage. So this dickhead put the stablemate Bodyguard on top, gets scratched from the same trial. This thing wins at $18. Or he opened 18s. I think he won about 9s.
You got pumped in, mate.
So I'm just moving markets here. But so if you're looking at the boys versus the girls, 0.002 seconds, so what's that, 2/100ths of a second, difference in the overall time. So it's they've basically run the exact same splits. Hard and fast late,
typical 2-year-old race, yeah.
It was just the sectionals were virtually identical. But Espionage was a nice win. Obviously, it's just hard to gauge, be it the first race for the fillies and the Colts and Geldings. So we'll kind of watch this space. But I think the big takeout of this was Scampy running last or second last.
Yeah, fascinating. Because he was $1.80 and then he drifted massively. So Sydney market's one of the best for the money moving where it needs to move. I would say.
Yes. One race that we probably haven't seen that much, but this was I think this was a pretty high rating race on the day. So this was the second fastest mile race on the day. This is was it Dulcify, maybe?
Dulcify.
Yeah, the Dulcify. So it was just slower, about maybe a length slower than the Flight Stakes, but they've actually run home quicker than them as well, just slightly.
Yeah.
But Gumbear, so basically he's absorbed a really hot speed and come home really nicely. So I think out to 2,000 metres, that horse for a spring champion, I think you could pretty much trust this race with confidence.
Yeah. 2 scratchings I was absolutely filthy with this weekend, Pericles and Tannhauser. I would have loved to have seen Tannhauser in this race because I think it would have suited him. Fast tempo, coming back, swooping him, hitting the line really strongly, maybe not winning, but heading towards the spring championship. Like what's wrong with the horse? Have you seen anything?
I haven't seen anything.
He drew a gate, so it can't be that. I don't know.
Big Cafe Millennium, I don't think the blinkers assisted him.
I don't think they did at all.
He's just not a betting proposition.
No.
Like, he's just too inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Tom Kitten, you know what you're going to get out of him.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to run top 4 in every single one of his races again in his own age.
Yeah.
He's not bulletproof, obviously, because he got knocked over by a $21 shot. But that horse, that was a smart win. Woodhouse spot again. TC back.
They're on fire, that stable at the moment.
Aren't they?
On fire.
Great to see. Now, the Premier Stakes. Hell of a win, this.
Hell of a win.
This horse is something else.
Yeah.
I think he's officially favourite for the Everest.
And he wasn't screwed down.
I know. I want to see the mounting yard footage.
100% because he's a nutcase.
I'm in love with this horse.
I reckon he might be a 1,400 metre horse.
Which is great for an Everest.
Yeah. Which is just
I wish I wins the same thing.
same thing, yeah.
Like, he's a miler. He could be a 2,000 metre horse.
Yeah. But yeah, we actually missed this race live, Drifters, unfortunately. Bigger fish to fry. But watching the replay, wowee.
Here you go. Who do you reckon is favourite for the Everest now? Looking at my Neds up.
I'll think about it.
Imperatriz.
Imperatriz is.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Shoot. Might be some news about that then.
Well, who'd be taking it? Yulong.
Well, speaking of Yulong, alcohol free.
Yeah, I thought she'd run a good race.
Thought she was fine.
Yeah. Look at Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah. Again, Waterhouse Bolt, mate, and that's Bella Nippet. Like, Bella, just so honest, you know. Had every chance, but the favourite was too good. And Hawaii 5-0, that Stradbroke form again, mate, is just holding up.
It's the best, one of the best form races each year.
So, interesting. So, alcohol-free gets a year-long slot?
Yeah, I think so. Because they probably just want her in the race.
They look after their own.
100%.
So, think about it, obviously. Hawaii 5-0 is probably...
If I'm looking
borderline.
at that, yeah, if I'm looking at that and I've still got an empty slot, I'm hoping he improves from that. The way he came home.
So the horses that are in the market that don't have a slot yet: Imperatriz, Amelia's Jewel, she won't go there. Hawaii 5-0, Osmosis, Charmstone, alcohol free. As for Espiona.
So you're taking Hawaii 5-0 over, apart from Imperatriz, all of them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Osmosis. I'm taking him over Osmosis.
Yeah.
I'm probably taking him over Asfura because she's 1,100,000 metre horse.
Yeah, I'm looking down the list. Because it's interesting because Marzu was scratched as well. So
Was he?
Yeah.
Maybe something's not right.
Yeah, so maybe Arrowfield, I give him up from the slot and the star, and maybe they take, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they take a Hawaii 5-0, you know? Because I'd even take Uncommon James at $26.
Yeah, fair.
Like, because looking at Tiakau, they're pretty staunch that this mare is not going there.
I think she's an anti-clockwise horse, Imperatriz.
Yeah.
Do you know who would have been fantastic in the Everest? He's retired at stud now. Artorias.
Oh. We were talking about this as well. We didn't see the best of him because and we don't know what we're talking about, but the stable openly came out and said, we don't know if this is a miler or a sprinter.
It's a sprinter.
I think we found out he was a sprinter.
Yeah.
And we saw when they started training him like a sprinter, he was running thirds overseas.
Yeah.
You know? Bloody good horse and
Bit cultish.
very cultish, but some of the greatest are.
Yeah. Mo.
Yeah. And he's one of the most breathtaking, he's probably the best Blue Diamond win I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And not many Blue Diamond winners actually go on with the job. Him and Tagaloa are the best.
Little bros.
Yeah.
Dormier.
Oh, God.
Yuck.
Ew. What was the one that you backed, the filly? For Godolphin. Freedman's.
Liar.
Yeah. She had to think about things, didn't she?
She was a big price that day. So Imperatriz, if she does end up going for the Everest and starts favourite, I'd happily take her on in that race.
Yeah.
I'd happily take her on in that race. I'm still leaning towards I wish I win. Overthink about it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just
because mate. He'll drift and he'll be forgotten about just like he was in the TJ. And the TJ as well was because it was a heavy deck, but he is a grand final horse. I reckon you wait to back him when he's third or fourth up.
Yeah, absolutely. But he'll be second.
He'll be second up, but
it's
his grand final.
He'll be trained like this third up.
Yeah.
Like anyway,
Moods gets it. Do you know who else gets it?
Catherine Coleman.
She gets it.
She gets it. It was really good to see her on Friday night. It was great to see you, Nick Foote. Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Lovely young man.
Lovely young man.
Loves his horse racing.
Great hair.
Yes.
Fantastic hair.
Yes.
I could use some of yours.
One of Tasmania's finest.
Mine's receding. What did I say? Like the French in every war they've ever been in.
That was funny. And a bit of self-indulgence here, Drifters. In the time-honoured benchmark, I think it was 94 maybe, Airman for the Source.
Easy. The Source had a fantastic day.
And 480 it went out in the morning. I think it jumped about 350. So
Move Marcus.
He's
brained him too.
Look at it.
He's brained him too.
Now, it was a responsible fill-up from yours truly when this thing went over the line, and I don't think I've been as deflated.
Just irrelevant.
Because the lines had just lost. I was like, oh, fuck, what's happening? Get it up. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
And then you took Kevin at the Big House for a ride too.
I did.
I got absolutely rinsed by the Big House.
Kevin and I were great mates. Yeah. Yeah. That was good fun. Yeah. Off the canvas from roulette. Might have to give that game away.
I might have to too. Yeah. Like blackjack's just so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
And like, it's fun when you actually know how to play and we know how to play.
Well,
like we're not experts, obviously, but we know how to play.
The cards were for my way, Drifters.
Yeah.
Every single double I hit,
I was
getting a 10 each time.
Drifters, I was basically getting the cards where you're like, and you'd see the layout of the table and you're basically like, well, look, if I don't hit, I'm still losing because the next one's going to be a pitcher and the dealer's got a 10. So I'd just take the pitcher for the team. It is what it is, Drifters. You know, you can't win them all. You can try.
You can.
And winners do tend to win a lot, but they don't win every time.
That's true. Sandown today. Now, I'm dirty that I didn't do this last week. I totally forgot about it.
Oh, yeah, I was filthy as well.
And I was in my hungover state. I forgot to do a story, but won't help you. But we found Miramasa last Sunday at about $16. So I don't think we'll quite have that today, but there's a couple of nice bets on the card. First one being Antino. It's a nice card at Sandown today.
Yeah, it is a great card. Drifters.
So, yeah, Antino, he should be winning that $1.70. No, spoil at the price, but
your boy needs it, and that'll get me well and truly back.
Yes, it will. Because Kevin was taking souls last night.
you know what's depressing is when you're playing roulette and the table is just stacked with chips everywhere, it seems. And you're like, well, someone's winning. And then it lands on something.
The one number has
the
nothing.
one number that has nothing on it. And then they just take it all. They slide all the chips down the hole and just go bang. You're like, that's like a grand.
Yeah. Oh,
just like bang.
easily.
Just
Easily.
gone.
Easily. See you later. Yeah, it
And how about the standing on 22? Like, come on.
I know. Oh, mate.
Come on.
It wasn't as much of an issue last night for some of us. But on the whole, stupid rule.
Dumb. Like, honestly.
I know.
At least Ned Kelly had the decency to wear a mask when he robbed you. Honestly.
Race 7 at Sandown. I think there is a fantastic quinella here. Ain't No Deal Done is one of mine. Always has been. Barrier 4, Billy Egan should go forward. He's rock hard heavy fit and he will be hard to get past. He has staying quality, this horse. He's very, very good. Aberfeldy Boy, though, he's the danger. Finished with a flashing light behind Carini last start. Stepping up.
What did Carini do last start?
Won.
He won.
I think, was he the victim's best bet of the day? No, Amenable was. Shit.
No comment.
No comment. So, steps up 100 metres from the 1700. I think they're your quinella. That's a nice little quinella there. So, Aberfeldy Boys, $7. Ain't No Deal Done's around $5 with Neds. So, typically, doesn't work every single time, but times the prices of each starting price for each horse divided by 2. That's roughly what the quinella will pay-ish. So you're looking at about $18 there. So if it gets up, any other plays for you?
No. Prediction for the NRLGF.
Broncos win. Stephen Crichton, first try scorer, because he
loves it.
He did it for me last year. And it could even be intercept. He loves an intercept. And
In a grand final, especially.
And Reece Walsh threw one last week. So, and I don't think Reece is the type of guy to really go like, I'm not going to chance my arm here. Really going to unleash. So, Brisbane to win because we need it as the city of Brisbane. Crichton first try scorer, and then I've got Renault for Clive.
Yeah, I like that. First try scorer. Oh, I've got to pick someone from Brisbane because I just can't stand Penrith.
Paddy Carrigan?
No, I'm going to have Paddy Carrigan as Clive. I'm going to go Reece Walsh first try scorer.
Okay. All right.
Mate, his acceleration off the mark.
He is fast.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
like over 20 metres.
Yeah. It's good to see. But that's about it, Drifters. Sucks about yesterday, but bloody proud. 2 very proud young Lions supporters, and we're feeling a bit better with some food in, some tucker in our belly.
That was delicious. And Drifters, sorry if you really hated listening to that, but we don't really care. Good thing is, mate, the window's still ajar.
Young side automatically get better with Will Ashcroft next year. Just gotta You
gotta lose one to win one sometimes.
And Collingwood did that in 2018. So
we go again.
And Scott Pendlebury's not going to be around forever because he was electric.
He was very good. Father time.
Do you know he played basketball?
What's the Group 1's next week? 7th.
There's only one. I think it might be is it Turnbull?
It would be the Turnbull, yeah.
I think there's only the one.
Yeah, it would be the Turnbull.
Yeah. But there'll be good undercards.
100% there will be.
Of course there will be.
And we'll be right across it.
All right. See you Wednesday.
See you, Drifters.